you look at for NASA Subsea, it'll take you to the Subsea page, which has some of those links to the various centers to learn more.
Okay, thank you. Lawton Shirley's School in Florida would like to know from anyone aboard here, what is the most unexpected or strangest thing that you've seen underwater?
Those are always the hardest questions. The strangest thing.
Saw a chair once.
A chair.
Upright. That was strange. I think a mermaid was sitting on it probably before.
Yeah.
Just kidding, kids. I don't think there are mermaids out there, but I'm not sure. The chair is real.
That's all we really know.
That's all I know.
That would be pretty unexpected.
That was weird. Yeah.
You expect interesting life. You don't expect
Necessarily.
chairs.
Sometimes you expect some things that are interesting and you don't necessarily get that.
That's true.
But we always find interesting bits in all of the life down there. And the sediment.
Have you used different wavelengths of light to explore and, to see the effects upon the organisms?
I don't think I have.
We've used the low light cameras before.
Oh yeah, right,
So,
yeah.
Brandon Phillips at University of Rhode Island and a researcher, Dave Gruber, have a low light camera that they've put on the vehicle. And that's been used in the Galapagos. They published some interesting data there. They've used it inside a volcano, I believe. That wasn't on our ship, but low light's great because the vehicle lights tend to scare everything or a lot of things away. So,
and in Mexico.
Yeah, in Mexico as well, off of the Socorro Islands. Do you remember any of the specifics of...
That was
Deep Staria.
Yeah, Deep Staria,
Right.
And the vampire toothless squid. Those.
So some of our biggest highlights
Big
were
highlight
on the
videos,
low
yeah.
light camera.
But they were using it and testing it for bioluminescence in the water column, and then we came upon these crazy, weird.
Yeah, so it was kind of
megafauna.
unexpected. In that, yeah, normally those things probably wouldn't approach us or wouldn't stay that close to us, but we turned the vehicle lights down or off and then just filmed for a while.
So that's good reason to go back and try it again.
Yeah, we're going to end up swinging back. So by the time we acquire the seafloor, we'll be a lot closer to that launch target. You can back off too again and let yourself slide back. Let us swing back.
Susan, how do you plan on bringing the your Nautilus experience into your classroom when you get back?
Well, I always begin from the big picture to the specifics in my class. So looking at geological timelines and the evolution of life on Earth. And when we're looking at hydrothermal vents, the type of life that they have found there and that it's evidence for to support evolution. So when they do their geological timelines, that they're looking at sponges and corals, and it just gives them a better opportunity to understand like the time frame and from simple to complex organisms. So I'm going to use that, and also when we're talking about astrobiology, why astrobiologists study what they study, whether it's geysers in Yellowstone environments or even hydrothermal vents, and its application to space research.
A little
So
smaller amount of forward on.
yeah, so
Okay.
I always like to provide them with authentic science, what's really happening now.
Yeah, very cool. Be a fun science class.
I love it.
Science is cool.
It is. If you're passionate about whatever subject it is, I think that it's contagious.
Right. Yeah. And it's so applicable. You can read a textbook and be like, what are these things? You can't maybe visualize it or see how it fits in with everything else, but then when your teacher comes back from a voyage aboard the Nautilus and you see how things fit together and even the tiniest things, what their role is, that's really cool.
This has been a great experience because we see the team here. In order to make this happen, everyone comes from a different background and they share their expertise, their knowledge in that area, and that it's really critical for the whole event to occur, for the goal to happen. And I think that that's really important for students to see that the teamwork, because we do a lot with collaboration in the classrooms, but sometimes they don't understand this application.
Yeah.
And so this is ideal, and just looking at all the people involved just in this expedition has been fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is really cool as well, like you were saying, the collaboration between different backgrounds. That's not necessarily something people always get to experience, even, in universities and stuff. They're focused on their kind of one field, but there's a lot of kind of creative applications that people could use, even if they talk to someone where it might not be obvious how that expertise applies, but a lot of great ideas come from that cross collaboration of different disciplines.
Absolutely. It sparks a lot of ideas. When they say two heads are better than one and multiple, yeah, it is. The team dynamics is very important. Yeah. You get ideas from each other.
Yeah.
So is it taking approximately, someone would like to know how long it takes to get down? It's taking about 2 to 3 hours to descend?
Yeah, it kind of depends on, right now the weather's pretty good, so we're going down a little faster maybe than we normally would. So at the moment we're actually doing about 29 meters per minute.
Okay.
And we're roughly about 15 minutes away from starting to get set up to acquire the seafloor. So we'll go down at anywhere between, say, 20 to 30 meters per minute, kind of depending on how things are looking, the movement of the ship, and how our tether behaves. We keep an eye on our tether all the time, and make sure that it's settled and not moving around, so we don't want to damage it on the way down.
Which are more abundant, the mollusks or the cnidarians? Does anyone know? Mollusks
Not sure.
or echinoderms? The starfish, those
Are you asking about here at this site or in general?
in general in the ocean. I'm just
I don't know.
curious if here we've been seeing a lot of squid, like mollusks, as we go by here at this site.
I'd assume it had to do with how primitive or how conserved the genetic material is. So I'd assume the cnidarians, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure.
The jelly, yeah,
The jelly things.
right. What you call it, jellyfish. Well, there's so much. That's it about the ocean. It's unexplored, and every day they're finding new species. Like, hi. Okay, John Willis is back, and I will join you later this afternoon. Thank you.
Bye, Susan.
Bye.
Yeah,
Thanks,
thanks,
bye.
Susan.
Bye.
Indeed.
What did I miss?
Wow.
Bit of blue water.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
No more sharks or squids, so I
Well.
think you're good.
Does anybody have an idea what kind of shark that was?
I didn't
don't-
see it well enough.
I don't know my
I
sharks.
don't know sharks very well. Had little fish on it though, little tag
Oh,
fish
no, yeah.
Yeah.
on its fin.
Can't even really tell how big it is because there's nothing. It was just, you know, out there in the water
Doing its shark thing.
being a shark.
Was that just recently, or was that the one I saw earlier?
It was earlier.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
You were here.
All right. So one question that I've been seeing on nautiluslive.org that a couple of people have posted, they're really interested in what do we kind of upgrade from year to year on the Nautilus or the ROVs or this kind of thing. And I only asked that, Josh, because I was just looking over your shoulder as I was waiting to come back in. And I saw obviously the winch camera now.
Right.
And that's probably the biggest thing we've done in a number of years is removing the old winch cable and housing it now inside the hull.
Yeah, actually completely different winch. We took the direct drive winch we had on the aft deck off the ship, and we completely changed the main hold of the ship, which basically essentially underneath where the old winch was sitting, and we installed what's called a traction winch inside the hold below decks, so that instead of just having a single drum with a cable on it that just direct pulls the cable, this one has a storage drum, a right angle level wind, and then two shivs, which are called the traction winch part. And we thread the cable through those shivs 5 times, and what that does is it takes the operational tension of all the cable and Argus hanging over the side, which can vary depending on weather. So at the moment I'm reading about 8,000 to 9,000 pounds of tension on the cable. By the time the cable passes through all those shivs, it gets to the storage drum, it's at 2,000 pounds of tension.
Okay.
And so we always store the cable on the drum at 2,000 pounds of tension, no matter what tension that we're seeing operationally. And what that does is essentially it just extends the life of the cable.
Right.
And helps to alleviate, issues with fiber strain or compression that you might have where a direct drive winch doesn't have any control over that. So you're just storing cable at whatever operational tension you had at that moment. Where here we're actually controlling the tension of the stored cable.
Cool. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
So just for those of you watching on nautiluslive.org, we are still descending to the seafloor. I haven't actually checked our depth recently. I guess we passed through 2,000 meters already.
Yeah, we're 2,500.
Okay, so we've got about 200 meters or so to go.
Yeah, just getting the false return at the bottom showing up on the sub-bottom profiler, so we're pretty close to 200 meters away.
Okay. So probably the next 10-20 minutes we're going to be contacting the seafloor, and one of the first things we'll do is just make sure we're properly orientated on the seafloor, that the ship is in the right position relative to Argus and Hercules, and then we will work our way pretty systematically through the dive plan. So that's going to be round about, I'm just going to ballpark it at 10 past 10 Pacific time in the morning here. And then we have a pretty regular dive schedule through the day. And I was just going to ask Nicole, do you know what time we're planning to leave the bottom today?
Yeah, we'll try to keep that consistent and leave bottom 5:30 to 6 o'clock again, so we could be on deck around 9. So it'll partly depend on our ascent rate, what the ROV team estimates for our ability to come up. It's always a little slower.
So yeah, I guess we're looking today at about 7.5 hours of operations on the seafloor. Well, I guess one interesting question I often see on Nautilus Live in front of me is, do you ever feel fear about going so deep? And I guess we could answer that in two ways. One is not in the sense that we're actually inside these vehicles. These are ROVs. These are remotely operated vehicles. So we're in the control van on top of the Nautilus, controlling these via that cable that Josh was talking about. That's not to say that no operation is ever without fear, but we're operating some pretty complicated equipment in a pretty extreme environment.
It's a controlled fear.
Yeah. It's a positive.
It's there.
It's a good fear. Yeah. It keeps you sharp.
It's exactly. Just enough to keep you alert. Okay, we're just about 200 meters to the seafloor.
Oh.
Do we know what our max depth will be today? Ish?
Working around.
I think it's the launch site.
Yeah. 2800 about.
Yeah, about just shy of 2,800, yeah.
Do you think there's enough time for a pre-bottom chocolate?
I think there might be.
Yeah?
Yeah, always. Come on. Sorry.
Thank you. They're on the way down, Jess.
Which one are you?
You start one.
One? Okay, go ahead.
I can't hear you again.
No chart one.
Yeah, chart one's
I don't think
negative.
you're talking to it. Can you press down on the SPL? So you want to toggle up to listen and down to talk.
Got some harder turns coming in. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so I'm going to
4.
slow down.
Yeah, I was trying to talk directly to them, though.
Oh, there we go. Yep, I hear you now.
Okay, is that better now?
Yeah, we're not, now's not the best time. We're just about to get settled in for our, to the seafloor, so we're going to be just a few minutes.
Alright, got Doppler lock.
So for those of you on Nautilus Live, we are just about over 100 meters from the sea floor in this particular location. The pilots are slowing the rate of descent and just getting ready for not quite a controlled landing on the seafloor, but a controlled contact of the seafloor environment. We are operating at the same location at which we were diving yesterday. So this is the Sea Cliff hydrothermal vent site. We spent a good amount of time yesterday doing a visual mapping of the seafloor area around these hydrothermal vents, and then creating a high-resolution sonar map using a sonar mapping device mounted on Hercules. And what we're going to be doing today is then returning to some of the sites of interest that we identified yesterday, some of the vents themselves, some sites of what we call more diffuse flow. And we have a range of experiments to deploy at these sites, and as we get to each one of those, we'll listen to the scientists as they interact with the ROV pilots and the navigator to make sure everything's deployed under the correct conditions. And when we have the chance to, we'll kind of explain some of those things to you and perhaps have the chance to answer some of your questions on Nautilus Live. But obviously as the science and operations ramp up, then we kind of let those guys do most of the talking for us.
Yeah, so when I'll stop at 50 and then you can carry down and we'll get our delta where we want, and you can back up a little bit and I'll spin around.
Roger. I'm going to zero my zero bias and just kind of go down manually.
Sure. I'm almost, I'll stop at 50. I'm at 60 off the bottom.
Roger.
Okay, I'll stop there. About
Alright.
55.
Roger that. Going down and get some slack and I'll back up.
I'm going to come around to port. Oh, sorry. I'm actually going to come around to starboard.
Okay. Heading. Alright, I'm starting to back up a little bit to give us some more slack.
Okay. I know when you're ready and I'll start coming around.
Roger. Alright, I'm going to maintain this delta of about 19.
Sure.
Coming back.
Okay, I'll start coming around.
Right. Ooh, I can see myself.
I can see it down cam.
Roger.
It's like we knew what we were doing. Okay, why don't you fly ahead just a little bit? I'll look
Roger.
up.
Going a little bit further down, maintain that 19 delta. All right.
Okay, you ready?
Yep.
Go down.
Roger. Going down.
Okay.
I'll wait for you.
Down.
Roger. Going down. So you're 40 meters to that wall.
So what you can hear on Nautilus Live now is the Hercules and Argus pilots talking to each other. They've contacted the bottom on sonar, and now they're just carefully descending together in a cautious fashion until they contact the seafloor visually and can actually then begin to orientate ourselves. One of the neat things that we get from this 2 rover operations is that Argus, which is the ROV that's flying just above Hercules, you can see on channel 2 or quad channel top right, that often gives us the kind of eye in the sky view of Hercules as it operates on the seafloor.
On bottom.
All right. Bottom acquired.
Right.
I'm going to play with my Z-bias a little bit.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, we would definitely want to check out how
we float.
floaty we are.
We got some great views yesterday from Argus as Hercules explored these hydrothermal vent sites.
So go down a little more so you can kind of see a bit better.
Roger. Going down a little bit more.
So you guys have a little bit of setup to do, and then Sarah, do you need to do a white balance?
Yep. Whenever you guys are ready.
Okay.
That should be good. I'm going to go down and get a visual contact a bit better.
Yeah, you're still 15 off.
Yeah.
And you have your Z bias is 23 right now.
Yeah.
So you want a negative Z bias. Right, so
Oh yeah, because we are floating.
yeah,
That's
you're
true.
on the wrong side of it.
Probably why I was floating to 15.
Yeah, you're pushing down. You're pushing yourself back up right now. There you go.
Yeah.
Come down a little more. Yeah, keep coming down here, like 10, 15 off still.
Roger.
Is that touchdown?
Yeah, I'm just playing
we're not
with my
going to touch,
Z-bias.
but yeah, we're just
Yeah.
checking out our ballast and run through a few things, and then we'll do our camera setup. So yeah, you're still floating up. I'd give you a little more. Try and get it so you like almost.
Rock solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, you're floaty, which is good. Yay. Yeah, because now you're back up. You were almost back up to where you were. 13 off.
Yeah, I need to go down a little bit more on the Z-bias.
Yeah, a little more Z-bias. We're hoping it kind of settles in like a 30-ish sort of range.
Roger.
So once
Come on down, you're like 10 meters off still.
So once we contact the seafloor, one of the things the pilots have to do is just to change the default thruster controls on the ROV so that they're
All right.
There you go.
just slightly positively buoyant.
So why don't you quickly run through your auto XY, like set up your autos and sort of, if you run through it a couple of times first, then usually when you go to use it the next time, it's not going to run away on you, you know, like it's the first time or whatever.
Oh, wait, so you mean like do step moves?
Yeah, just go on auto XY, bring up your auto XY page, and then turn on your buttons on, and then hit your auto altitude, and then be ready to turn it off again. Turn it. Yeah, turn it off. Let's do it a few times till it doesn't do that anymore.
Roger. Go up a little bit.
You're good. You're still 7 meters.
7 up.
Just make sure you're stable. That's looking better. And then you can just stay there. So stay in your auto altitude. And then let's set up the camera.
Roger.
I gotta come down a little bit more.
Roger.
Yeah. No, you're good. I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come down. I was just coming down a little bit to reduce the delta.
Roger.
So yeah, so let's do the camera.
White balance, nice, thanks.
You want me to do it or
Yeah.
you want? Oh, sorry, Miles.
So just a quick update here before we start exploring on the seafloor. We're now about 2.7 kilometers under the ocean at the Gorda Ridge plate tectonic boundary off the west coast of North America, about 300 kilometers off the coast of just where California meets Oregon. We will be exploring the next, let me see, 7 or 8 hours or so. We will be exploring this feature called the Sea Cliff Hydrothermal Vent Site. We've got a full range of experiments and measurements to undertake today, including geochemical analyses of hydrothermal vent fluid.
All right, video, go ahead and push in.
And microbiological experiments.
I'll get you squared up here a bit more.
Okay, thank you.
What we're doing right now is the video engineer is just setting the white balance on the cameras.
Is that enough, or I can move the arm a little bit down?
A little to the right.
As well as producing nice videos for us to enjoy on nautiluslive.org.
Yeah.
All of these video recordings
For you.
are archived and form a scientific record of our expeditions.
All right. Going to be black for a sec.
Roger.
And once more. All right.
So essentially what the ROV pilots have done and what the video engineer is now doing is optimizing all of our equipment for
Roger.
deep sea operations.
Going full wide.
Roger, full wide.
Josh, do you guys have additional tests that you want to do right now? Otherwise, I think Sean might be in the van to turn some things on.
I am, yep, I think we're good. We're supposed to put the arm away and ready to do any tests that you guys want to do?
Just toggle once. It should stick if you don't hold the button.
Roger. On for you? It's on, Sean.
Go ahead to reset DVL.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Do you guys want to put Sean on
DVL
SPL?
reset.
Roger, thank you. Easy bias is still. Okay, Roger, thank you.
So that's good. You're still floaty. Yeah, keep playing with that till you get it just solid.
Yeah.
It's gonna be so much nicer to fly.
That's true.
Yeah.
Interesting.
So Sean, are there additional things you need us to do right now?
Sorry, no. Both IGTs are communicating properly, so unless there's anything else to do, we can continue on to the site.
Nice.
I think we wanted to check the super sampler. That was my understanding, because that's critical. So Amy, are you comfortable doing that?
Yeah, I can try.
Okay.
We checked it at 50 meters too.
Yeah, it would be good to check it here
One more
because
time?
last
Okay.
time we had it working at 50 and not
Yeah.
at the seafloor, or
Okay.
we noticed a ground fault at the seafloor.
Okay.
Let's just turn off craft power I'm just gonna turn off craft power at the moment.
Okay.
Because I just want to see what their actual ground fault levels are at.
Roger.
Oh, okay.
And then if you guys could turn the lasers on, we're gonna do today's dive with the lasers, unless for some reason we need them off.
Roger, lasers are on. Just
Thank
can't
you.
see them right now. Covert lasers.
Oh yeah, there they are. They kind of blend.
All right, I think that's good for the bias right now.
Yeah, you're actually going down a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
Back up just a bit. So we don't have any super on, no power on super yet. So we'll turn it on when you call for it.
Okay. Just give me 1 sec.
Well, look at us right now. Yeah. Yep, keep backing off.
Okay, go ahead and power up the super.
Okay, you got that? Or you want me to do it?
I got
Got
it.
it.
No worries. Sean, are we, oh, I guess we need to get to that bottle. Never mind.
Acknowledgements. Going to port 1.
What? Interesting that.
Everything looking okay so far?
This was sinking before.
Looks good at our end.
Okay.
Yep, not showing a ground fault. Looks solid.
Okay. Just need another minute. Advancing.
And then Sean, I don't know if, do you want to check the WAN B or the ICLB as well? Just turn it on just to check the fault there too.
Yeah, we might as well. Absolutely.
Can I turn that on now?
Sure.
Okay, it's on.
Okay. So, Josh, about how long is it going to be before we use it? 30 minutes?
Before we use the super?
The super?
I don't know. I think it'd probably be a little longer than that, I'd say,
Okay.
by the time we find it and go through our steps.
Okay.
Because we have to take the IGTs first and all that too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'll be a while.
A little
I don't know. What is the dive plan estimates, I think, time?
30 minutes, 15 minutes for each IGT. And
Yeah, we
then
haven't even found the site yet,
transit?
though. We
Okay.
gotta go over and find it and settle down and do all that. So
Okay.
yeah.
I'm gonna try booting the Prevco.
So nice. I've got both issues that we had yesterday are powered up right now and showing no ground faults.
Excellent.
That's good. I have
Nice.
communications with the
Great.
temp one, so I
Awesome.
think we're good there.
So does that mean all systems check out?
I'm still trying to connect to the Prevco. So just
got
give
it.
me a
The
second.
Prevco's
Prevco
not
not
powered
on.
on.
John, Prevco
Oh, it's
on?
not on. Okay. That
Okay.
makes sense.
Prevco is on.
Okay.
Everything with any IGT, both IGTs and the IGT electronics that are measuring the super temperature are all working as they should.
Perfect,
Great.
thank you. So
Sweet.
Yep, IGT's working, temperature. Supers are checking out, we're just waiting on the Prevco.
Yeah.
And then Nav, sounds like, or it looks like you guys are prepared. You know what your next move's gonna be with the ship.
We're about 120 meters out from waypoint 1 at bearing 133.
Okay. And so whenever the ROV group is happy, we can make those moves.
Perfect.
We're ready. I think.
Yeah.
You ready?
Yeah, 1 through 3.
Bridge nav.
Just need one more minute, Josh.
Can I get 20 meters at bearing 150?
Guys, let's get your camera set up so you're
Yeah.
ready to roll.
Sorry.
So one of the things we'll try to keep you guys posted on Nautilus Live about some of the acronyms we use. You've heard the conversation there talk about IGTs. That's an isobaric gas tight.
So it's a
Okay.
150.
Measuring systems.
Is that the final?
You've heard us talk about the super as well. If Amy's got a moment, I was just going to ask you to remind me, Amy, what does the super stand for?
150 Herc, roger.
Okay, they can both be powered down, Prevco and Super.
Roger.
And the ICLs as well, or do you want to leave the IGTs on?
It doesn't matter. They can be. We might as well leave them on.
Sure.
There's no harm in doing so.
Yeah, no, they're looking really good. Looks solid right now.
All right, 150.
I follow you.
Roger that. Let's go together since last time I steamed and left no visuals. Let's see what we knew with the tether.
All right, so the magic depth we're looking for is 2707 meters.
707.
And the heading that we approached those on the colonization chamber site was 99.
Well, it's flickering.
Yeah.
Bridge nav. I get another step at 20 meters with the bearing change at 140.
Let's quickly do my log stuff here.
So for those of you watching on Nautilus Live, we've basically checked out all of our systems on the seafloor now and are performing a short traverse to the first science target, which was an area of, I guess, is it diffuse flow that we investigated yesterday, Nicole?
Yeah, that's right. This is the area with the diffuse flow shimmery water, and it's where we deployed the microbial colonization chambers.
That's Herc, right?
And Amy
That's
might
that.
remember the exact temperature of those,
Argus.
of that area.
I believe we took 3 temperature measurements and they were all between around 20 to 40 degrees Celsius.
Okay, 20 to 40 degrees.
So now that we've moved from kind of the blue water phase of this shift to the...
Argus, keep an eye out on the wall.
Okay.
10 meters away.
Roger.
Less than 10 meters.
Roger. 5 meters. Yeah, that's a big one.
I think these are switched. Right? Hercs is on the left.
So-
I am not that close to the wall.
So when we move into these more focused operational phases, we won't have so much time to answer your questions on Nautilus Dive.
Feel free to fix it.
We still look at them as they come in, but we let the scientists, ROV pilots and
It
navigators
is not.
take priority. I did just want to take a moment to recognize we
Can
have
we
got...
change the range? Oh, sorry, John. Can we
You
change
get-
the ranges on those so that Herc is like 10 and Argus is 20?
I just wanted to take a moment to recognize we have got a few of our science communication fellows on land watching with their classes and groups of
Josh, you might need to come up a bit.
Okay.
participants. I hope you guys are enjoying this and looking forward to when you guys come to see.
Octopi up front. I know, it's octopuses, but they're up there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, yep.
Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
So we are at the octopus site again.
Oh,
Left.
wonderful.
You can see a few of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, one more step.
Oh,
please.
and
Wow.
Oh
Hello,
my goodness.
friend.
Ooh, that's a big one.
yeah. That's a lovely view.
Don't shred it.
Don't shred it. Waiting for him to pass. Is that my time to shine? Not shredding an octopus.
Does anybody want to guess a species on that? Looked like a squid.
Was it a Dumbo?
I think it was
Yeah.
a Dumbo.
Yeah.
Looks like a Dumbo.
Big
Just
one.
said hi. We're on a mission. Yep, we are.
Yeah, sorry, no time for octopus.
No, yeah, nope, sorry.
As cool as their floppy ear things are. Oh, sorry, I'll stop.
Go away. Your own vehicle.
A lot of them down there.
I'm starting to get creep on top of you, so you can start climbing.
Yep. Coming up.
Coming up too.
Yeah, Alex, if you're comfortable just keeping those ship moves coming in, as long as the pilots are okay with that.
Yep, sounds
we're
good. Sounds groovy. I want to get a sec, Josh. Can I get back my porch?
Oh, yeah, sorry. One more sec.
Yeah, no worries.
Yes.
Could I get rid of that little black bit at the bottom of the screen? Just
How about
punch in, like,
yeah, go ahead, punch it in.
there.
Nice.
Gotcha, that's right.
So Argus is on the right. Roger.
Sure. Got it. All right, that's done. You can just like drag it over.
Drag it,
You
yeah.
can just drag it and it'll go boop, and it'll fix itself. I can look on the over.
What's our distance to target now?
Since the target is 75 meters.
75, roger.
A little easier.
Oh yeah, I'm like barely touching the Z.
Yeah, you can keep playing with it till you find your nice spot, or you might be happy now, but I'm usually like
Fiddling with
fiddling
it.
it, yeah, like a lot.
Yeah.
I like it. Oh, I'm finicky with it though. I don't know. I might be a little more than normal.
Right now I'm a little bit positive with it, with that Z bias, but
Well, that's great.
it's nice for going uphill.
Yep. Yeah, if you're waiting, like don't be afraid to kind of poke around if you're waiting for the ship, or you can.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to catch up.
That's true.
So
See what there is to see.
yeah, see what there is to see.
See the sights.
Say hi to the locals.
Yeah, now we can look for that Dumbo octopus. Where'd
Come
he go?
back, friend.
So for those of you on Nautilus Live, the site we're going to is a site of diffuse flow from this hydrothermal vent field. A couple of you have been asking what that means. We generally make the distinction between diffuse flow and focused flow. Focused flow, think of an actual vent or a chimney, sometimes making a structure that rises a little bit above the seafloor. Diffuse flow is not like that. That's where we actually see basically hot water seeping from the rocks, but over a wider area, so it's not focused at all. And that's the zone we're heading back to. We're about just under 75 meters away from that, so the pilots are essentially moving between these navigational waypoints, but always keeping the sea cliff and the sea floor in visual contact.
Looks like they're doing construction.
Rubbly.
All of the visual information we get on these passes across the site is useful. It's been approximately 13 years since ROVs have operated in this site, that humans have laid eyes on this. And so the wonderful thing is you guys watching...
Giving you a tug, I'll just hang out.
Okay.
You guys watching online get to see it the same time that we do, get to enjoy all the excitement of new discoveries.
Some little sea stars down there.
Yeah.
Or the brittle stars.
Oh yeah, just in the Hercules main camera. So that's channel 1 or top left on the quad view. Some of you on the Hercules main view can see the two laser spots out there in front of us. That enables us to measure scale on the seafloor. Those lasers are mounted on Hercules. They run out parallel to each other and are spaced 10 centimeters apart. So those two dots measure 10 centimeters on the seafloor.
There'll be something up there.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you're coming up on that. We were here earlier. There's a cool old chimney. Could we get a partial zoom on Argus?
Yeah.
That's a wonderful view on Argus, actually.
That's great.
So for those of you asking about focus flow versus diffuse flow, this is an example of focus flow coming out of a vent.
It's very pretty.
That's cool.
It never gets old, does it?
No.
Nope.
This is gorgeous.
No, these formations are always super cool. Well, yeah, now we can actually fly the vehicle. Much better video today, that's for sure.
Some of the blue mats to the right there.
Oh yeah. No, this is
Yeah,
wonderful.
those ciliates.
This guy gets a 4. I've never done a 5, but this is pretty cool.
We're going to get a 5 by the end of this, I think.
Yeah.
All right, I'm starting to, you're going to have to start to move.
Roger.
Can you come wide on Argus, please?
Yep.
Thanks, Josh.
Yeah.
Keeping me in check.
You can push just a bit. Yeah, we'll get rid of the, great.
Just a quick question to Nicole. I'm guessing this wasn't one of the places we measured the temperature yesterday, is that right?
As far as I know, we did not get
Yeah.
back here to measure temperature, but I believe this will be a future dive when we start to look at the high temperature.
Yeah.
We'll find out when we get the dive plan.
So this spot has a waypoint or a marker?
It does, yep. It actually, we've just passed directly over it again, which is great. We'll double check of our navigation.
Sorry?
No, I said it was nice that our ROV USBL today matches our waypoint from yesterday.
Yes.
So yes, we could find the spot again.
It's a very active region.
Yeah, it looks
All
like a
those
lot
flows.
of the diffuse flow on the ridge right here.
Oh, it's nice.
And then another chimney.
Yeah, some vents off to the right.
Yeah. So all of the chimneys are pretty much aligned with this ridge is what the literature says anyways, and I think it matches up with what we found.
Yeah. Just for those of you watching, the reason you see the